Hansi Flick is off to a flying start at Barcelona. Literally, 4 matches, 4 wins. They are the only team with a 100% winning start in La Liga. What else can you say? It's all going according to the script for them. 2-1 against Valencia, 2-1 against Bilbao, 2-1 against Rayo Vallecano. And then this. Barcelona, 7. Real Valladolid, 0. Emphatic. This is a serious whooping. Reminds me of something from somewhere. A total annihilation to send a message to La Liga's chasing pack. This is Barca's biggest win in La Liga since 2016 and their biggest home win since 2014, back during the good old days of MSN. So, should the fans start to believe again? Is there more to this resurgence than meets the eye? After years of seemingly endless struggles, are they really and truly back? Hello everyone, I really hope you're all doing well. Hansi Flick has had a lot to deal with in his early days at Barcelona. He has had to work with limited resources, also injuries to really important players, and the sheer pressure that comes with the job, all of which we'll get to in a moment. He has had every challenge thrown at him, but he's remained unfazed. I know this is completely different in nature and grandeur to what he's dealt with in his career, but that doesn't translate to his inability to deal with the situation at hand. He's not a new face when it comes to the industry of sports management, having worked as an assistant to Joachim Löw with the German national team for almost a decade between 2006 and 2014. A hugely successful period for German football, not only in terms of trophy count, but also the style of play they implemented. Both aspects were embodied by their successful 2014 World Cup campaign in Brazil. But what everybody might remember is his brief tenure at Bayern Munich. He took over in late 2019 and ushered the club into one of its most successful periods in its history. Bayern won their first 4 matches under him by an aggregate score of 16-0 and ended the season with more trophies, 6, than defeats, 5. Bayern under his guidance was a force to be reckoned with. They were humiliating opponents left, right and center. Barca know it all too well. Here are some of his achievements in Munich. He led Bayern Munich to the Champions League title while maintaining a 100% win record all of the way. Here are the other clubs that can boast of such a record in history of the Champions League. What are you waiting for? There's no one. He went on to win the historic second treble in Bayern's history and then the sextuple. A total of 7 trophies in 2 years, with an 83% win rate and 3 goals per game on average. Now that is nuts. So Flick has a wealth of experience. But when it was announced that he was going to take over the departing Xavi in May, I don't think many people questioned whether he could deliver success, but rather how fast he could achieve it in a highly polarized environment like Barca. But we have to give him flowers for how he has dealt with it so far on and off the pitch. One of the problems he has had to deal with is working with limited resources due to the club's lack of activity in the transfer market, especially with the biggest rivals Real Madrid making marquee signings like Mbappe. Barcelona's financial problems have been well documented. They can't sign new players or register the ones they already have in their books unless they let go of someone, and it has to be someone on big wages. You know what those players have in common? Exactly, a big name. For Barca, it cost them one of their most experienced players in their squad, Ilkay Gundogan. But it's safe to say they have, hands down, replaced him exceptionally well. Dani Olmo, this guy's a baller. I think his injury record has betrayed his reputation. Although he didn't transition directly from La Masia to the first team, since he's gone out to Croatia, he has shown what he is about. Then he moved over to Germany, and again, he was under the radar. He came off the back of a very successful Euros with Spain. Part of the reason why Barca paid 60 million euros for him were his performances at the European Championships. He was Spain's highest goal scorer despite being a midfielder and having started only 2 games. He came into this Barcelona team with all that buzz and was an instant hero with a very well taken winner against Rayo Vallecano. We can attribute it to luck, we are allowed to do so, but he tends to pop up with massively crucial goals. 2 in Barca colours for him. What Flick has done so far with what is far from his ideal 11 when everyone is fit is incredible. You have the likes of Frankie de Jong, Gavi, Christensen, and Araujo all out of the first team football with injuries. I wanted to talk about each of the attackers individually, but it's better to talk about them as a unit. How their understanding of one another has shot through the roof. They're showing more and more synergy in attack. I watched them the other day against Valladolid and was so impressed with their work rate as a unit. They press incredibly high up the pitch. Looks like Rafinha has been the beneficiary of Barca's failed attempt to sign Nico Williams. Their interest in him was extensively documented during the transfer window. Many of us will have looked at him, especially after his performances at the Euros, as an ideal addition to this side. factor in his bromance with Yamal, and you have a pretty strong case. Barca were unable to do it though. They are so broke these days, Barca. My granny has a few more coins in her purse than them. But it's safe to say that the guys currently at the club are doing exceptionally well. Lamine Yamal, man, this kid. There's a reason his age pops up every time his name is mentioned. This is unprecedented. It's not just about his dynamism and goals, it's the understanding of his teammates too. There's certainly an argument to be made about him being Barcelona's most creative player. And the stats vindicate the foregoing statements. He and Rafinha on either side of Lewandowski is a force Flick can unleash on any day. Lewandowski's legs aren't as sharp as they used to be, although he's adamant they are. But his mates do the heavy lifting for him. In a system that is clearly designed to suffocate teams, they are going to create tons and tons of chances, leaving Lewandowski to do what he does best, scoring goals. And in the right system, he is a goal galore. Ter Stegen, Jules Koundé, and the entire defensive unit deserve all the compliments. Pau Cubarsí, by the way, is worth the hype. I remember watching him for the first time in the Champions League quarterfinals, on the biggest stage, against one of the best players on the planet, and he rose to the occasion like a veteran. What he's doing is not normal for his age. 17 years old, and he's one of the best ball-playing centre-backs out there. This is really an exciting project. Barca has won the title only once in the last 5 years, a win which was an anomaly because they arguably overachieved while Madrid had an off-season. This team might not change that soon, but it's a really exciting project, and one that could potentially offer hope to the club whose fans are desperately in need of some.